Bertrand Arthur William Russell, born on May 18, 1872 in Ravens Manor near Trellick, Monmouthshire, England. His grandfather, Lord John Russell, twice served as British Prime Minister. His father, Viscount Amberley, was an atheist. In 1874, Russell's mother, Lady Amberley, died. In January 1876, Russell's father, the Earl of Amberley, died. Russell was the second son of this Whig family. His godfather was the philosopher John Stuart Mill. In 1890, Russell entered Trinity College, Cambridge University, where he studied philosophy, logic, and mathematics. In 1908, he became a Fellow of the Academy and was elected as a Fellow of the Royal Society. Russell opposed Britain's involvement in the First World War, for which he was fined and lost his teaching position at Trinity College. He was also sentenced to 6 months in prison in 1918 for his anti-war activities. On October 2, 1948, a small plane crashed, killing 19 people on board. But Bertrand Russell was unharmed. He won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1950 and was awarded the British Order of Merit. In 1967, the Stockholm War Crimes Tribunal was organized to condemn U.S. policy in Vietnam. Died at home in Wales in 1970. He is an advocate and organizer of the World Peace Movement. His major works include History of Western Philosophy, Philosophical Issues, Analysis of Mind, Analysis of Objects, etc. Russell not only made remarkable achievements in philosophy, logic, and mathematics, and he has made achievements in many fields such as education, sociology, political science, and literature. His philosophical thoughts changed greatly in his early and later periods. In his early days, he believed in neo-Hegelianism, believed deeply in the existence of absolutes and universals, and regarded mathematics as evidence of Plato's ideas. Many people regard Russell as a prophet of this era. All great books have boring passages, and all great men have dull moments in their lives. A good life is guided by action and wisdom. A great career is rooted in perseverance and continuous work, being engaged in with full energy and not avoiding hardships. Youth is a period of open-mindedness, and you should use this period to develop your own open-minded character. Only when combined with this world can our ideals bear fruit. Apart from this world, our ideals will not bear fruit. Of all the moral qualities in the world, good nature is the most necessary. As a person, you must respect your parents, be kind to your children, be generous to your poor relatives, and be polite to everyone. Desire makes people restless even in heaven. War does not decide who is right, only who stays. Hope is the crutch of perseverance, and patience is the travel bag. Carrying them, one can board the eternal journey. It takes courage to face poverty, courage to endure ridicule, and courage to face the enemies in your own stronghold. A person who seeks happiness wisely will always try to cultivate many other interests besides the main interest upon which life depends. We are facing the very paradoxical fact that education has become a major obstacle to intelligence and free thought. A person with great vitality and broad interests can overcome all misfortunes. Realizing that time does not matter is the door to wisdom. Life is an adventurous activity full of joy and hope, an activity based on the desire to build rather than the desire to keep one's own possessions or to acquire the possessions of others. Wonderful learning not only makes unpleasant things less unpleasant, but also makes pleasant things more pleasant. Courage, in all its forms, whether in men or women, should be celebrated just as physical courage is in warriors. Free speech only exists when the government believes it is safe. The secret to happiness is expand your interests as much as possible and be as friendly as possible to the people and things you are interested in. People are born ignorant, but they are not stupid. Education makes people stupid. Fear is the chief breeding ground of superstition and also of cruelty. Conquering fear is the beginning of wisdom. The so-called happy life must refer to a quiet life, because only in a quiet atmosphere can the real joy of life be produced. Love will flourish only when it is free and unrestrained. The idea that love is some kind of obligation can only kill love. Just one sentence, "You should love someone," is enough to make you hate that person to the core. I would never die for what I believe in because I might be wrong. The main thing that prevents us from living freely and nobly is our obsession with wealth. Our powerful morality is to achieve material success through struggle. This morality applies to both the country and the individual. The incompleteness of the object of need is one of the indispensable conditions for happiness. Some children have the habit of thinking, and the purpose of education is to eradicate this habit from them. Judging from the time spent in school every day, Chinese children are the most thoughtful. There is no need to blindly worship any authority, because you can always find the opposite authority. Knowledge is one of the main factors that make human beings happy. The necessary condition for a happy life is wisdom, and wisdom can be obtained through education. Plants reproduce through cultivation, and humans become adults through education. Being able to fill your leisure time intelligently is the latest achievement of human civilization. Knowledge is the liberator of the realm of natural forces and destructive passions, without which the world we desire cannot be built. An educator should love young people, but this alone is not enough. He must also have a correct understanding of the excellent qualities of human beings. Knowledge governed by love is what the educator needs and what his students deserve. In the lower grades, love for students is the most important love. In the upper grades, love for the knowledge imparted gradually becomes necessary. Many people fall in love to find a refuge from the world. In this refuge, when they are not worthy of admiration, there are still people who love them, and when they are not worthy of praise, there are still people who praise them. There are a lot of people, and letting them think about it is better to let them die. In fact, many people die before they even think about it. Man is a credulous creature and must believe in something. If there is no good basis for this belief, a bad basis will do. Many people can die bravely, but they do not have the courage to say that the reason they died for is meaningless, and they do not even have the courage to think so. A beggar will not be jealous of a millionaire, but he will certainly be jealous of a beggar who earns more. It's important to be honest, even if the truth is unpleasant, because hiding the truth often takes more effort. Don't be afraid of having a unique opinion, because what we now accept as common sense was once a unique opinion. Traditional people get angry when they see departures from tradition, mostly because they take such departures as a criticism of them. A life without adventure at all would probably be uninteresting, but if there is any kind of adventure in life, it will definitely be short-lived. Aristotle said that women have fewer teeth than men. Even though he was married twice, he never thought to check his wife's teeth. Contempt for happiness is usually contempt for the happiness of other people, and under a subtle disguise is hatred of humanity. Possessiveness, the desire to possess as much property as possible, or to have ownership of property, is a motive. I think this motivation arises from a combination of fear and the desire to have the necessities. Don't feel guilty for sleeping in, because when you get up, you create no value. If you can get fun from wasting time, it is not a waste of time. Only by being interested in external things can people maintain their spiritual health. All human activities occur from two sources, impulse and desire. In actual work, efficiency is out of proportion to the emotions we invest. Sometimes emotions are simply a stumbling block to efficiency. The proper attitude is to do our best and listen to fate. Most worries can be eliminated by recognizing the unimportance of those things that cause anxiety. Love, beauty, knowledge, the joy of life. No matter how wide our horizons, there will always be what we like. The biggest trouble in this world is that fools and fanatics are always so certain about themselves, while the hearts of wise men are always full of doubts. For human happiness, what is inside a person is the key. It doesn't matter what you believe. The important thing is that you don't believe him completely. Hope is the crutch of perseverance, and patience is the travel bag. Carrying them, one can walk around the world and embark on an eternal journey. Don't be afraid to think, because thinking always helps. Many unnecessary sufferings are endured due to ignorance of society. When it comes to happiness, only a happy mood is cash. Everything else is just a check that needs to be cashed. Only on the solid foundation of utter despair can the home of the soul be safely built. Good and evil can be deduced from desire. Science is what we already know. Philosophy is what we don't know yet. Philosophy is a special power that allows us to talk nonsense. Philosophy is a reasonable conjecture. Don't look at other people's happiness with a self-righteous eye. As long as humans use science wisely, there seems to be almost no end to what is possible on the road to creating a perfect world. Broadly speaking, those who most desire power are those who are most likely to obtain it. Life is a fight, a competition, and respect can only belong to the winner. This concept makes people over-cultivate their will at the expense of reason and intelligence. It's not your fault that you're hallucinating. It's your fault that you make decisions under hallucination. This is my life. I found that people are worth living. If anyone gives me another chance to live, I will gladly accept this rare gift. It is crucial for our civilization to find a system that can avoid war, but it is currently impossible to find such a system because people are so unhappy that killing each other is not as terrible as enduring endless days. A generation that cannot bear boredom will be a generation that does nothing. They are too divorced from the slow natural process, and all kinds of vital impulses gradually wither like flower arrangements in a vase. The problem with this world is that smart people are full of doubts and fools are convinced. People are moral because the temptations they face are not great enough. The value of parental charity to children is that it is more reliable and trustworthy than any other emotion. Diversity is the source of happiness. The foundation of a family is undoubtedly the special affection that parents have for their newborn daughter. The difference between human civilization and barbarism lies in whether you are willing to sacrifice your present for your future. The purpose of philosophy is to understand the world. Theoretically, this matter has no real significance to animals, to savages, or even to most civilized people. The real source of boredom is inner emptiness, which prompts people to constantly seek external stimulation and strive to use certain things to activate their spirits and emotions. Mathematics is symbols plus logic. Don't use power to suppress opinions that you think are harmful, because if you suppress them, it only means that you yourself are being suppressed by these opinions. The fact that many of the past's tangled and difficult problems concerning the infinitesimal and infinite in mathematics have been solved one by one today may be one of the great achievements of our time that must be boasted of. Now is a point in time that has just passed. If you crave glory, you may be jealous of Napoleon. But Napoleon was jealous of Caesar. Caesar was jealous of Alexander. And Alexander, I dare say, was jealous of Hercules, who never existed. Love is wise. Hate is foolish. In the long, dark night, people long for the guidance of a bright beacon. This is clear faith, a solid hope, and the resulting steady courage that can overcome all obstacles. If reason does not exist, kindness is meaningless. American democracy is lifeless and meaningless because the people cannot remove those who truly rule them. The first is, remember that your motives are not always as beneficial to others as you think. The second rule is, don't overestimate your own value. Rule number 3 is, don't expect others to pay as much attention to you as you do to them. The fourth rule is, don't think that most people are trying to persecute you. Glory to the brave warriors who have fought through countless ages to preserve for us the priceless legacy of freedom. There is no ultimate satisfaction in cultivating one element of human nature at the expense of all the others, or in treating the whole world as raw material for the display of one's ego. In the United States, everyone believes that no one has a higher social status than him, because everyone is created equal. However, he does not admit that no one is lower than him in social status. Social solidarity and individual freedom are always in a state of conflict and compromise. The best people attribute their excellence to a perfect combination of qualities that are thought to be incompatible. Mathematics, if viewed correctly, possesses not only truth but also supreme beauty. The man who seeks anesthesia, in whatever form it may take, has no hope but the hope of oblivion. The most important achievement of modern mathematics is to truly reveal the entire face of mathematics and its essential existence. Fear is the root of superstition and one of the main causes of cruelty. Wisdom begins with conquering fear. If we had a magical power to read each other's minds, the first consequence, I suspect, would be that almost all friendships would break up. The second, however, would be best of all, for a world without friendship would be unbearable, and so we should learn to love each other without creating the illusion that we did not think each other was perfect.